Hey guys, so another day, another struggle, but it's like 10:30, after 10:30 actually, and I'm not gonna do much. I just wanted to see if I can actually connect up this switch to the lights. Yeah, this connection here is the one that I've already done. You guys have seen that for the screen. I just left it like that for now there. I want to connect now to use the second relay for the lights. That's what I want. Now I just connected these two together over here so that they will get the same feed. Then I'm gonna just take some of this and then just connect it over here and then take that to the battery, excuse me, to make sure that it goes on. And if it goes on, I'm gonna see if I can connect out this switch quickly, because at least I've got an example over here of how I did the switch. So I think I'll do a similar thing. I'm not sure yet if I will be using these connectors yet for the switch. Most probably yes, because like I said, I want easy connections off if needed. So, but for now, I just want to see if I can just get the lights to turn on. And then I'll just sort out the cablings and stuff and the connectors another day. So let's see where we get to today in this next 30 minutes, and then we call it day. Hey guys, we are winning! We are winning! Like Bafana Bafana. Hey guys, so we're back. So I just made a similar connection, like I said, to the screen, and we're looking good, guys. So I've done all of that over there. I've done all of that over there. Yeah, don't ask me to explain it because, yeah, that's that. I just used the trial and error it this took me a long time. Doing exactly what I did there over here seems to have worked. And now I've connected the feed to the battery. Now, if I go like this, you see it goes green and we've got light. And if I switch it off, it goes off. Switch it on, see the light change, off, light change, and then our strobe. So this is the plan. I'm really glad about this, guys. This is actually awesome over here. So now the next thing to do is to unhook it from there and then make sure that it comes to the fuse box, that it goes to the fuse box. So that is the next plan. But I feel like that should also be quick, because based on what's happening here, this over here is the trigger wire to the white one is the trigger wire. So based on what I see here, the only thing that I have to do would be to connect the ground, obviously, to ground over there, because there's no ground over here, so I would not to connect it over there. And then take the positive from here, from the lights, put a positive on the yellow over here. That's the positive that comes from the relay, and that's the trigger. And then if I would touch this guy, even maybe to this one over here, this got 12 volts over here, it should switch on. So I should actually just put in my positive over here and my negative to the negative, and then if I touch the trigger to the main supply, it should go on. But I don't think I'm gonna do that now, because it's gonna be a little bit of work, because I need to pull all this sleeving down, and then I need to obviously cut the wires open over here and then do the joins. So I think I'll do that on the next video as I continue with this. For you guys, it will probably be now, but I'll do it. I've got a bit of a busy weekend, and I will probably leave all of this like this so that I don't confuse myself. But we're winning, guys. We're winning. Now we've got lights via the switch over here, and I don't think, do I have this connected? No, I think I disconnected this one over here. But we are looking good. Oh, it's actually connected, but it won't work because I don't have it to the trigger. So with this one, you remember, if I do this, it will go to the trigger. So if I switch it on there, then I go to a trigger, you'll see it goes on. Then if I had the screen connected, the screen would actually go on. So this one is working via the trigger. Trigger needs to be connected to the 12-volt feed, and then it will be good to go. Just a reminder, the trigger will be going to a ignition wired, or a wire that's connected to the ignition on the bike. So this will be connected to that. And then I might even connect this trigger wire, extend it just to get to over here, so that we can then move it from here to where I'll get the trigger for it to go on. So yeah, that's where we at, guys. We are working via the switch. You switch on the switch, it goes green, and the lights go on. That is what I wanted. Hey guys, so while I was working on this thing, while I've been working on this thing, I was struggling to get this relay here to work. I thought I made the connection right, but I just couldn't get it working. So I ended up getting multimeter and starting to check whether I get 12 volts to this wires at the back that go down to the relay, and eventually found that I was getting ground on the over here, but I wasn't getting ground on this relay over here. Obviously not getting ground over there because they are tapped to each other. So that's the main feed. Then this one is tapped to here, this one is tapped to there. So for some reason I just couldn't get 12 volts until I figured, you know what, let me strip out, take out this pin that's holding the ground here, so that I can ensure that this one that taps in actually gets power. And this is what I found. As you can see there is no wire, so I think the wire is lying back here, so it wasn't making contact over here so that it can feed the ground over. So I hope these other ones are getting 12, are connected. The core is getting to the terminal, so I hope those are fine. Otherwise I'm gonna have to deepin all of these grounds as well, and it's tedious to take them out. But yeah, now I'm gonna open it up, join them back, and then hopefully I can still use the same pin. I already bent or broken off one ear there, but hopefully I can reuse this pin, because I don't know if I've got pins, and then yeah, be able to sort that out. But before I put it back in, I will obviously test out that I'm getting 12 volts on all of the relays. So yeah, we keep it going, we keep it moving. Whew. Hey guys, so after a struggle, we are looking good. As you can see, I've got my screen out. That tells you that I was ready to test stuff. And yeah, man, I also have the phone charger stuff connected over here, or the charging USB charging ports also connected over there. I connected them straight to this is linked to a fuse, and you can see all of that commotion here. And I need a plan for all of these grounds here, because I've been taking all of the grounds to just one ground wire. So I think I'm gonna need a plan for the grounding parts. Need to figure that out. But guys, we are good so far. You will see that I am connected to the battery. The full video will have my other issues that I had in terms of the fuse box. There was a issue of the fuse box that I had to figure out and fix. So that's obviously now sorted. I have blown through two fuses already, 15 amps that connect to the battery. I've blown two of those fuses. Now I just got one, or both of them I actually got. If you check there, I'm missing two fuses. I'm missing a fuse there, and that side I'm missing a fuse. That's the ones that I took now to just so that I can have power. I wanted to actually cut and join it with that, just hold it in there, but just for safety I figured let's just put a fuse. Even though there's a higher fuse, that's a 25 amp, those are 15s. So but yeah guys, we connected, and let's start here. When we click over here, you see we've got the power that tells us what the voltage is, and then obviously these guys will also have power now to charge and all of that. So we're good over there. If we click that one over there, you will see that our screen comes alive over there. It's connected now to my phone. So we've got power there via the switch. Nicely connected. And then I've got my, what's this? My spotlights over there. Here's the switch for the spotlights. So if I click there, boom, you'll see that goes on and the spotlight goes on. So the harness connections are coming together. So you can see these things are chowing power. Check the 11.6. They're chowing that poor little battery up. So let's switch off the lights over here. Let's switch off the screen. Boom, boom, boom. And we'll be back at 12 volts. So can switch that off and I can turn that off. I wanted to also connect this guy over here. I'm just going to take another blue. I'll just connect it to a different blue there to come here. So the blue ones, guys, are not passing through the relay. They're just going through the fuse. So these ones they're really small, guys. So I'm just going to put them through fuses. I just need to check how many amps will be ideal for this guy here and this one so that I can put the appropriate fuses, because I think now they're connected to like the 30 amp or 25 amp, which might be a bit high for those. But yeah, I'll figure that out. So I just need to connect this. It's just that I would have done it. It's just that I don't have the pins here, these pins. So this one came with those pins and or terminals. This one didn't come with any terminals. So I need to get some terminals so that I can connect this guy. And I hope this lengths are actually okay, because I'm hoping this wires is what's gonna be used in the bike. And then yeah, I need to figure out, or I need to do connectors for all of this shenanigans here so that we can be a quick plug and play. So I need to figure that out based on how I connected stuff here, since it's working. Yeah, guys, so yeah, that's that, man. It's coming along. It's coming, guys. So it's been a couple of days, and yeah, decided to make some progress. So let me just catch you up, guys. So over here, I've already done the connection for the, what's this thing here, for the spotlight. So this is all working good. I've also did this connection over here that is joining both those spotlight into one so that we can go to the switch over here. So all of this is sorted and it's working. Now I am busy. I just did a connection for this loom here, or the power that goes here. I've just connected it over here. This is just positive. The negative is still open. So I'll show you guys what I'm thinking of doing for the negative. So I've also connected the two 12 volt devices here. This two I've also joined together over there, as you can see. So over here is the fused connection to the relay box, and this is not relayed. It is just connecting straight to a fuse, and this will be the ground for them. I'm still gonna work on that ground. So the plan for the grounds, I still haven't done any connections for the screen over there. Still have to get to that. But the plan of the ground, guys, I'm not sure if this is going to work out, but this is the plan for now. I just need to put some heat shrink over this. But the plan is, as you can see here, I've got 3 wires. So this will be the grounds. I've got 3 wires each for each of the devices I'm doing. So one will be for those 2 over there. The other one will be for the lights over there, and then the last one will be for the screen. So those are the 3 things that I'm connecting, and this will be the ground for that. So I'm just gonna add connectors over here so that they will go to their respective places. Then if I ground this, then everything should have power once everything is sorted over here. So that's where I'm at. I'm still keeping it going. I'm still keeping it moving. It gets a bit complicated, but yeah, slowly but surely gets it. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving. Hey, what's up, guys? So I wanted to say that I'm done with the harness for the devices for the bike. Yeah, I know it still looks like a mess, but the one different thing that you guys will see now on all of this is there is no more open wires. The only open wire there is actually this one over here, and this is the trigger wire. So this is the wire that I will have to connect to something on the bike that's going to tell it when the ignition is on. So this is why this is still open for now. But everything else, I've got connectors done over here for the sports light, obviously for the screen, long time ago sorted. These two devices over here also sorted, and that's where I actually just saw a problem with my setup right now. So I've connected, and I've also done a single ground, which connects to all the different devices. So it's 3 devices, so that's why there's 3 negatives here connected to one ring terminal that will go to a ground on the bike or the battery. I will see where these lines go. So the loom is complete. I'll just get into this now, but the loom is complete. The only thing that could be an issue right now is that maybe the lengths that I've cut do not get to where they need to go. But I did try to actually cut long enough. A bike is not a big thing, so I did try to cut and give enough length to where I think the wires might need to be, and I hope they will be fine. I really hope they will be fine, guys, because having to spline into these wires again is gonna be a different job. You know, it's gonna be something else I need to figure. So I hope the wires will get to where they need to go. But now the problem that we're sitting with, that it was a flaw from my side. I knew about it. Let me not say I knew about it. I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know the full extent to what I was doing until now when I was testing everything as a final thing now. So my issue is the screen is working via a relay. These lights are working via a relay. So I've got 3 relays there, and I'm using 2 of those relays for the screen and for the lights. Now my flaw is I connected these 2 straight via a fuse. You see this blue wire here? This is connecting these guys. So my flaw is, maybe it might not be a flaw, guys, but I feel like it's a flaw for me because it's not how I intended things to actually be, is that these are on now because I simply connected the power on. That's why they are on. Now, I can switch off this one here, as you can see. Here, I just put in a 12 socket USB charger just to show that it's working, right? But what does that mean? It means these 2 devices will constantly have power to them. Even though the bike is off, they will still have power. They might not have draw because nothing would have been plugged into them. But like this one, if it's on, that is draw. That means power is being used. So I would need to always ensure that this guy is off. And obviously that nothing is actually connected to the ports. And this guy is staying closed. And if it is closed, if you do that and you put it closed, you can't see anything. So you won't know when it's on or when it's off. And chances are it will probably be on, because as soon as, not even as soon as, it will always just be on, guys, until I switch it off, you know. And my problem with that is, what if some odd thing happens and it goes on? That's going to be draw to the battery, and you find that I'm not using the bike is parked. This thing is going to use power. What does that mean? It's going to be draining the battery. This one, if there's nothing connected to it, like now I just took that guy off, you can see the light is off. So there's nothing drawing any power from there. So it shouldn't, in a way, be using any power. But my problem is there is still 12 volts power going to them. And for me, really, guys, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want things to get power only when the ignition is on. Only when the ignition is on. So that is what was my flaw with this thing here right now. I knew what I was doing. I just didn't get the full extent until, I guess, now when I'm testing everything. And for these to just always get constant power, it's not on for me. I don't like the thought of that, because what I'm doing here, guys, I don't want it to impact negatively at the bike at any way, because this is aftermarket now. So I don't want it to cause any issues to the bike in any way. So rather it cause an issue if the bike is on, and obviously for the bike to be on, I would have to have switched the ignition on, and then things can go wrong. It's okay then. Not when the bike is parked and I'm not at the bike, and then something can still go wrong. I didn't want that. I don't want that. So what does that mean? It means I should then splice in either of these. This is 40 amp relays, so they are good to take a little bit of load, and this stuff here, they don't really take a lot of load. So I could splice into the screen's wiring, or wiring for the power, so that when the screen goes on, these can also get power, or the lights as well. So I was thinking more the screen, because it doesn't take too much power. The lights take a little bit of draw, but the screen doesn't really take too much. So I was thinking to splice into the screen, but the problem was that is I've sorted everything out. As you can guys see, I've got his shrink sorted. Everything is good to go. So it will mean me messing up here. It's gonna be a little bit more work. So my decision is, I still have a third relay. This one here, number 3. Number 3 is still open. I've already, done a connection over here. So for me now, the plan is to splice through the trigger wire over here. And the white is the trigger wire. Splice onto this one, take power over there, and then get this out of here, snap this wire so that it looks similar to these ones, so that it's clean, and then move this power for these two guys onto that guy, similar to how I did the screen and the lights. So this will be the power, and this will be the trigger for the relay to give this guy power. That's where I am now, because in that way, then I know that this will also be working via a trigger. So only when the ignition is on will this get power, and then these can go on. I think that is what I'll feel better with. Even though I wanted this to stay open for if in future I've got something else I want to do, I can just work on this relay because it will be open. But yeah, right now I think I'm just gonna get into that, remove this from that fuse, straight fuse, and just connect it to that guy there. And I think I might have also removed, because I bent some fuses over here, the main fuses. As you can see over there, there's 2 open spots, because I did bend through fuses while I was doing trial and error over here. So I think one of them might be actually for this guy over here. But yeah, I will sort that out when I get another fuse put in and all of that. So for now, I just think I'm gonna just splice in through this third relay, get this powered over that, and yeah, get that sorted there. That was a little bit of talking, but yeah, I thought I was done with this thing. The next step was just to start working on the bike. But yeah, I still have a little bit of work to sort out. Shouldn't be too much, but that is my conundrum right now. So I'm gonna just sort that out and make sure that it's working, and then tackle it again. So I'll catch up with you guys once I've done that and everything is working, so that we can conclude the wiring here on the table. Then the next step will be going to the bike. All right, guys, so you can see we're back. You can see I've spliced through that trigger wire over here, and I've split it to also go to that number 3 now, and then I have put in a terminal, and there's that blue one over there that is going straight to the fuse. So I took the wire out of there and I put a terminal on that one, and that positive is now going to that number 3 relay. And you can see we do not have any power, even though we are fully connected to the battery over there. These guys are not on at all. So this is what I want to see, which is good. So if I go now and take this trigger wire and put it on a positive over here, you will see now these guys are on. You see there we've got 12.4 volts, and we've got power over there on the socket as well. So this is the intended, this is how I would prefer things to go. If there's no power, they will be off. So now everything is going via relays over here. Nothing is going straight through. And if, let's say, you want to use the blue ones, you would actually need to put in, at least to be safe, before you get to your device, put in a switch. Have some type of switch, or have the device be working with the switch, so that you know it's off. When it's off, then you know they are not getting any power. No power is used, even though this wire is getting 12 volts. Like right now, these wires are actually getting 12 volts right now. But at least if you know that you have switched your device is off, nothing is getting power. So my problem, like I said previously, is that this guy will get 12 volts. This is a device itself here, and it will get 12 volts, and I didn't want that, you know, because there's no switch for this guy. It will get 12 volts straight every time. Until you put something, then it will draw. But the fact that it has 12 volts, that was my problem. Same as this guy. Even though you can switch it on and off, my problem is that it was still getting power, and I didn't want that. I want devices themselves. So in my position, these are devices, so I only wanted them to only get power when the ignition is on. So here there's no devices. Even though there is power here, there is 12 volts right now over here, but there's no device, so I'm okay with that. So I know that these might not cause any issues for me. But if there's a device, you know, devices get can malfunction, and then they start drawing power, and yeah, you start having issues. So I'm good now. So the only thing I'm gonna do now is get some heat shrink, these heat shrinked a little bit. It's just these two actually, because this one have this rubber thing going on over there. But once everything is in the bike, all of these I will tape them up with some tape over there, and I'll also use this cloth tape as well to just make sure that everything doesn't get some type of moisture and starts rusting and what, and yeah, all of that issues over there. Even this, once it's in the bike, I'm gonna cover all of that up. But yeah, guys, so now we are at the intended position. Let me switch them on. Let me show you how everything is working. I'll put the trigger back on there on the positive, and then let's go through that through all the devices, see if that everything works. All right, guys, so as you can see, I just put in the trigger wire over there, so it has power. So everything right now, I think I have everything connected. You can see these guys are on simply because of the trigger wire is on. So those are on. These have a second switch, which is this switch over here and the switch over here. So that is what controls this guy to go on, and I didn't have that for these, so that's why I had to go with that over there. So now if we go in here and press this, you'll see we have light. We have light over there. Same here. If I switch this guy on, the problem is I'll switch it on quickly and then switch it off. Otherwise, it's gonna connect to my phone and disconnect my phone from the camera. But if I switch that on, you'll see that guy will go on shortly. Boom, boom, boom. So let me switch it off quickly so that it doesn't disconnect the camera. So everything now is working via the relays, even though I wanted to have a spare relay open. But yeah, if I have something else to add on this electronics, I guess it's gonna be work again because I have to splice and do stuff over this. So this is the wiring, guys. The wiring is somewhat complete. Now I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna put on some heat shrink on these ones and then pack everything up, and the next video will be when we're working on the RT. So I hope you guys, yeah, I know I dragged this, okay, but for you guys it's gonna be quick, but I dragged this weeks over weeks, even maybe months, to just get to this point because of time. But the loom is done, the wiring harness is complete, and it's ready to go onto the bike now. So I'm happy about that. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the video when I start working on the bike. Thank you for watching so far if you got to this point, and I'll see you on the next one. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing great and going for those goals of yours. Don't forget, guys, keep it going, keep it moving. And as I said, I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching.